just got to roll with it. It's
Yeah,
just,
that's true.
be prepared for whatever and just roll right into it. I
Well,
got
we're
it.
live right now,
Okay,
so
There
there
you
we
go.
go.
yay.
Happy for the delay. Get that tea going.
I want to start off by saying Happy Father's Day to each of you. Happy Father's Day for all the fathers out there, especially if you live stream. I asked these three men here with me today because not only do they live stream, but live streaming is somehow a part of their business. So it's not just a small part of what they do. It's actually part of their company, part of their work. So I gotta introduce you. Let me start off with who I see first. Thomas Ballard. His show is called The Groundwater Guy. DJ Strick, you have multiple shows,
I do.
so let me let me try to name some of them. The Stream Show, Streamers Hub,
Uh-huh.
and I think you got at least two more.
If I can remember them, but those are the two main ones right now.
Okay, and we have the Jason Hodge, Mastering Your Media and Food is Religion.
Food is
Is that right?
religion. Yeah, yeah. We have the healthy eating room. We've got red velvet crumbles, and those are the main ones right now.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, hooray. Thank you guys for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
I really do appreciate you guys being here. So, I want to ask, I got to start off by asking. So, back in the day, dads used to hand off their businesses to their kids.
Hmm.
Are your kids thinking about getting into live streaming? Would you hand down your business to one of your kids?
That's a really good question. I can tell you on my end, probably not. My personality is different than all of my children. I'm such an extrovert when it comes to being around people. I have one of my sons that, if there is a business, like I do a lot when it comes to ministry and people and working in the community. So one of my sons is really into that. Well, two of them are. One of them is more vocal. The other one is kind of like behind the scenes. But it will probably be that and not content creation. So everybody else, they don't like the stage. They don't have to be in front of people. None of that kind of stuff. But hopefully the community activity stuff can go forward, and the ministry stuff that I do, they can glean from some of that as well. Good
Okay.
question, though.
All right. How about you, Thomas? Would you hand down your business to one of your kids?
It's probably the same thing. They're not interested in, and some of my stuff. I do the groundwater guy because I'm a hydrogeologist, but I also do I do a school board show occasionally. Talk, yeah, it's really local, but I talk about what's going on at the local school board because I somehow managed to get myself elected to the school board here last
That's
year.
awesome.
By
Well,
live streaming?
I yeah, I don't know, but it's it was a. I'm not sure I would advise anybody doing it, but I do that, to kind of keep the local people advised on what's going on in the school board and stuff like that. And so none of that is stuff that I would I would hand down. They're just, my daughter lives in New York. She's in the medical profession, and my son is a CPA. Just probably no. So that's it. You know,
All right. Well, how about you, Jason?
So
One of your sons want to take over your business?
yeah, all four of them are into it. They like doing live streams and video.
nice.
One is in the stop motion, one's in the animation.
That's cool.
The other two, the younger two, they're always making their short films and stuff. So yeah, I would be very happy to. A matter of fact, I'm grooming them to get them ready to do more stuff in this because I need some editors, and they're pretty good at that. So yeah, I can see this. I can see it happening.
That's great. I like your hat too, Jason. Best dad ever.
That is cool.
I got it
So,
from one of my sons, so I can legitimately wear it.
was that your favorite son who gave you the hat?
He is now.
For the moment, he has it,
All
right?
right.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So, You guys know me. I talk to Chat GPT a lot. Me and Chat are best friends. So I asked Chat, could he give me, yes, Chat is a he for me because who names their baby girl Chat? So I asked Chat, could he give me some questions so that I could ask you guys? And he gave me a list of 10, and I'm just going to repeat some of them, and hopefully we can have a conversation around them. So the first one is, how did you first get into live streaming and how has it impacted your experience as a father? Who wants to take that one and go first?
Well,
Hmm.
I'll say this. I kind of fell into it. I cut my teeth at Time Warner years ago, back in the late 90s, mid to late 90s. And at the studio, things were a lot different than what we can do on live stream. We can get away with a whole lot of stuff on live stream that we couldn't get away with back then. And, Strick knows.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
And
no
so,
FCC out here for live streamers.
right, right. And so for me, live stream was an exercise for me to break out of the protocol of what it is that we had to do at the studio, because I used to be more behind the scenes. And so when I started doing live stream, I gave myself a challenge. It was 30 days. And my thing was to not produce something that was technically correct. I just was supposed to hit the camera, no editing, and go. And so that was my challenge to myself for the next 30 days, to do something without touching the edit. And so I got comfortable in just going live. And then Ustream came along, Periscope came along, Facebook Live came along, and I just continued to run with it. And then I started teaching other people how to just go live and get out of their own way. So for me, it was a natural progression.
I like that.
That's
That
awesome.
that's really nice. And I do like that there's no FCC for streamers, and I like the no editing, just go live. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Right,
my two favorite things so far. Yeah, I actually didn't even consider the FCC. I just figured everybody's doing out here doing what they want to do. But some folks are getting shut down. Some folks are getting asked to leave platforms.
Mhm.
Oh, who wants to go next with how did you get into live streaming and how has it impacted your experience as a father?
I guess I can. It frees up time definitely. So because I besides my show, I do some training, and we used to just do it all live. So you had to be on the road doing live training, and now I can communicate that through my show and with from the comfort of your home, and actually the trainings too are I live stream those, then record them, and then package them up later. Uh, but I would agree with Jason. The whole thing about live is that it's unfiltered. It's you go with it. If I got to scratch my nose, I'm not going to edit that out. it's
Mhm.
it's it's you got to roll with the punches, and it's just kind of like at church on Sunday. They were having some sound problems with some of the mics, and they spent so much time fiddling around with it, trying to get it right, and it's kind of like, man, just roll with it, go a
right,
cappella or whatever. You don't need the mics, but
Mhm.
they're over there and they spent a lot of time to just kind of push things back, and it's kind of like you just got to be prepared when you're live streaming to whatever glitches hit you or
Mhm.
whatever, just roll with it, and a guest doesn't show up, you got to have a backup plan. And for me, and I know that you two guys are the same thing. Give me a topic and I can talk on it for an hour, but
right.
so that's usually
Mhm.
not a problem. but
That's
Mhm.
true.
but it frees up time because travel just takes a lot of time to get out there and go to these places, and it's expensive too. So
Mhm.
that's kind of been the opportunity with live streaming, is you can interact with people, not the same way you can get that eye contact in person to person, but you can still interact with people live, take their questions, and that works, and get kind of the same effect that you would with in person. type stuff, and with freeing up all the time. So
Hmm.
So,
So I'll go now. I'm sorry, you were about to say something, Erica?
no, I was going to ask, were you ready?
So, oh, me? Yeah, I'm ready. So, I don't get a chance to tell this story all the time, but 2019, in November 2019, I've kind of course, been in the radio world for a long time. And I got out of it somewhere around 2014, 2015, and I got the bug again. I was like, okay, let's get back into radio. And I've been out so long that some of the advice I got was, hey, you need to just go online and gain an audience. It's like, huh?
Hmm.
You know, my name in the city and what I've done, like it wasn't that I didn't have the skill set, it was politics. And some of it was politics to kind of get out of radio. So I was like,
Hmm.
hey, let me just get back in and go to YouTube. Kind of gain an audience and people will recognize you. I didn't think I had to do that, but it is what it is. So I went and started looking at what it would take to do some live shows similar to what I was doing on the radio, but on my own. I just felt like that door was open. Forget a major um, media company, just do it yourself. And you have more freedom when you could do it yourself. And again, I was saying that's November 2019, leading right up to the pandemic. And the information that I had learned as I was doing my research actually helped me at my church, because before then, my church did not want to do live streaming. So now we
Wow.
needed live streaming, and we wanted live streaming right now. So no, from November to March 2020 is when I had to figure all this out, not just for me, but for the church. So that's
Hmm.
when we started. When the lockdown came in March, we started that first Sunday live streaming, and
Hmm.
it was a fiasco because I was still learning. We used all kind of platforms to kind of figure out where the stream was. Our cable company that was providing the internet wasn't the best. Our cameras wasn't the best. Our lighting wasn't the best, but we had to do it, and I had to learn all the way through that. But that learning for myself and for the church kind of got me into certain communities where I was figuring out cameras, figuring out lighting, figuring out audio, and those communities kind of helped me grow. And I'm still a part of those communities and have expanded to do more. One of the things that did help me when the advice was to go to YouTube and establish our audience is my older sons were big into watching YouTubers,
Hmm.
lifestyle channels of YouTubers. They were telling me, hey, these people are doing this and they're made millions on YouTube and all this other kind of stuff. So they kind of pushed me that direction. And my youngest one, doesn't really remember a lot of me on the radio.
Hmm.
So doing the live stream and garnering a audience helps me with him because, he can kind of see some of the things that I'm doing and, kind of be like, my dad is doing this and it's kind of cool to him.
Hmm.
So that's kind of how it helps. The success of being online, like if you really are ready to grind and put some time into it and not think that you need to have 1 million subscribers
Right.
tomorrow, if you're really, doing something on a weekly basis, you're going to look down the road and you will be successful. And that type of grind, I think helps. I think it helps to show my sons what it takes. Like, I'm not trying to be rich tomorrow. I
Hmm.
am building something, and over time, I'm going to look back and I would have shown you what it takes to have a job, be dedicated to something, to have discipline, to go live when you say you're going to go live, and to use all kind of technology, whether it's AI or lights or TV screens, whatever it takes to be the best at whatever you want to do. And
Yeah.
that's what I want to show him. Like, I have to show my son, the youngest one is still here at home. I have to show him that because when I'm live, he's got to come off the game. Like, dude, I need an hour. You got to come off the game so that dad could not have any internet problems.
Hmm.
That happens a lot in my house. Like I just need an hour that you can get back on. So every now and then, but we don't have as much internet problems as we used to now. For whatever reason, our local company has gotten it together, and I've changed some equipment out, so everybody is happy in our home now. So that's how I really feel like I'm helping my sons by them seeing me do something over and over and over again, and they will have acknowledged, "Hey, I remember when nobody was watching."
Mm-hmm.
To actually then grow a community and be able to travel and do speaking engagements and do seminars and all that kind of stuff based off of what I started back in 2019.
It's awesome.
It's really
Yeah.
nice.
So you're being a role model is what it comes
Exactly.
down to. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And showing them it's not overnight. Like this, success takes time, takes discipline, takes you doing something over and over again and getting better at it. So what I did last year, guess what? I'm not doing that anymore. As far as the technical part of what I'm doing, I add something every year. I'm going. The next thing is changing my lighting setup in here because I want it to be better, and I found some things that's going to help me have a better lighting situation. So guess what? I'm going to do that, and then when they see it, they will see the progression. And of course, everybody needs a role model in that. And as I am, so I could be one of those kind of people that I'm so passionate about life and passionate about what I do, that passion could rub off on them as well, whatever it is that they want to do. It doesn't have to be content creation, but if you're going to do something, I want you to really go out and do it and give it your very best.
I can see
Right.
that.
Excellent.
So, I know you guys said your kids probably wouldn't be interested in the family business, but would you encourage any of your kids to live stream in what they do? Thomas, I know you said that one of your is a CPA and the others in the medical field. Would you encourage them to follow in your footsteps? At least put your information online so people can know what you know? Because I remember you saying that getting younger people into well health management is kind of a hard task, but by you putting yourself out there online and telling people about, hey, we should really think about having clean water, is
Right.
getting more people interested.
And I think everybody should share their stories, I mean,
That's
I think
true.
that's a big part of it is we may think our own stories are pretty boring, but I love people's stories to hear
Right.
people's stories. And, like sometimes people get reluctant because it's just me, it's boring. But there's always some little nugget in there that you can pick out that is interesting to me. So
Right.
I have a fascination with people, and so I would encourage everybody to get out there and tell their story, and communicate to others, and just going online is a way to you have guests on. It's a way to interact with other people and learn about them. So I think that's something you can pass on to your kids too. It's just that interaction. We lack a lot of interaction in the world this day. You go out and everybody's walking around looking at their cell phone, and
Right.
if there's an open pothole, they're going to fall in it, because they're not paying attention to what's going on, getting hit by a car or something.
Right.
So that human interaction, and even if it's online, is really important. So even if you got 15 subscribers on your YouTube channel, it's still an opportunity to get on there and interact and who knows,
That's
it's
true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, Jason, you had mentioned that your kids are already into the online stuff. Would you encourage them to make this or what they're doing a business?
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, all of the stuff that they do, my question to them is, what kind of business can you wrap around it? They're all artists. And so right now they're researching the platforms that they can use to merchandise their artwork, whether
Nice.
they turn them into textiles, hoodies, the whole 9 yards. So they've been going in and checking out different platforms, from like the Redbubble and what's the other one? Teespring, and different things like that. And I said, check them all out. see which one works for you. Look at which one has the better textile format and all that. And so they find that very interesting. They got a good taste of it when I first started running my programs in the schools. And so I, have a media mentorship and culinary program, but the children in the program, they learn not only how to live stream and all of that, but they learn how to cook too. So it's a tasty program.
That's
And so
cool.
my boys, yeah, they got an opportunity to see the children interacting when they were younger. And then they're like, you know what, Dad, I want to do this too. And one day I saw my oldest, he got on the phone and he started just taping, just doing video as we're driving. Next thing I'm hearing him broadcasting back there. He's not talking to anybody except for the camera. And at the end, he throws a call to action in there. I was like, what? Like, wait a minute. So, I
That's
mean,
cool.
it's interesting the way that they pick things up. But, for them, I think it's very normal because they grew up with me on Periscope and talking with the people. As a matter of fact, that's how we ended up meeting Zakia. So she got the chance to see them grow up. Quite a few people who I'm still in contact with today saw my boys grow up, from 2 and 3 to now, 15, 16. And all of that was during the live streaming process. So, yeah, for them, it's normal. And, I want them to learn how to multiply their time by taking advantage of platforms like this, where, I mean, like, okay, and Strick, Tom, you probably know this as well. Back when we first started in media, that time was expensive. Just to
Very.
get on the stage, I mean, you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars just to rent the stage out. Not to
Right.
mention, then you had per camera, maybe about 350 per camera. And
Right.
then the camera operators, if you're getting them on the cheap, it's another 100, 150, 350. The people inside the control room. So by the time that you finish, you're in for at least about 10 to 15,000 for a very basic low budget production.
Right.
We have the ability to take something like these phones that, and then turn them into our studio. And the phone could be just a few $100 up to like maybe $1,500, but you've got a whole production in your hand. It's unheard of.
That's
So
true.
for me, it's like I look at it and I'm like, wow, what an opportunity. I hear other people kind of complaining, like, oh, they want this kind of money. I'm thinking, like, you don't know the half of it. I mean,
Right.
like, you had to pay what we had to pay back in the day. Yeah, this is a godsend.
It really is.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know what I just now noticed about you, you guys? Your time management skills are amazing.
Not
Thomas,
true.
Jason, it's amazing. It really is. Not only do you
Boy.
have your own shows, you work with other people, you all work with your
Yeah.
churches, you all work with other kids, not just your own. For me, that's
Hmm.
amazing. And the time management skills has to be amazing. So,
You
yeah.
you have to.
I'm
You
with
do.
Strick on that one. When
Yeah,
he said
I try my best, but Erica, when you reach out and say, "Hey, will you do this for me?" I always want to give it my best. Like if I can't do it, I can't do it. If I can, I wanted to be sure
Mhm.
I give you that time. But oh my goodness, that's why when we started, my voice sounded more like Barry White. I like today and
Mhm.
the last past week has been pretty tough because my schedule and then my wife's schedule and some of the kids' stuff has been the beginning of this summer has been really, really rough. It's been
Mhm.
all good stuff, but it's stacked on top of each other. So learning how to have time management in that and also how to rest. So
Yeah.
later on the day, I'll just be honest with you. So later on the day, I started this probably about a year ago. My wife like took me to the spa one time, and I got hooked
Mhm.
at the spa. Like so, I'm gonna have my own little spa day just to rest. But earlier this week, last week, I did a camp for kids, teaching them how to do film
Okay.
and had some rep. One of the reps from Fuji came that's formerly from this area, and she had an assistant that's from Chattanooga, like producers, like real live producers, and we
Mhm.
galvanized some production houses here in the city to help us do this camp. It was only like 14, 15 kids, but it was amazing to do. My wife actually at the next day had to do a festival. Like she's a recording artist. So she did a festival the day after we finished camp. You know, if you finish camp, you're tired. And so we're in the hot sun, doing her thing. And she did an excellent job. And then Father's Day was the next day. I had a live stream that afternoon. And then Monday we come and my wife had put it on the schedule for us to be back outside for her to do a recording video. So we're outside in the heat again for like 3 hours. And then today is Tuesday, and I'm not saying that, time management is really that. What we do with all of the aspects of our lives, because I still have a full-time job, content creator. I manage my wife's career and where she goes from. She's a smooth jazz artist, and we travel a lot. What I'm trying to do is, through all of that, document it. But I know my personality, to get back to your question, I would say for somebody, yeah, you need to film everything that you do. All right. People would, just like I think Tom said, people would be interested in that. So I know when me and my wife have some small interactions that I can film, people really like it. They like seeing what we do together. Even if I'm her cameraman at the time, so I get to be manager and cameraman and bag carrier and all of that, I'm able to get some very unique shots of her in moments in time that her audience is able to get the chance to see that they never would see. And I'm seeing other people do some of the things that I do, like having a side stage shot, like some big performer. Somebody's on the side of the stage filming, and they put that up on social media. Now, there are cameras all over the place where I can get a professional shot. But for whatever reason, social media likes things that are not as professionally done. So it works just recording your camera and then loading it up, as soon as you can. I like that. But my children, their personality is not where they have to be up in front of people like this. Now, this is where I have been this way since I was a kid. It's just my personality. Theirs are different. Now, if they get older and they find out that there is a way that they could, do a business and also monetize some of the steps that they do with their business, like I would tell anybody that. I don't care what you do. There is a story that you could tell all along the way, and who knows how that could help someone else or how you can monetize it. So if someone is listening to this, son, daughter, whatever, whoever you are, find a way to document part of what you do. You don't have to, say, well, I'm not the person that can do how-tos. It's not a how-to. It's like, hey, this is what I do for my profession, and these are the steps that I take to be good at what I do. And then have people go along with you in a story about what you do. And that's content. And, who knows who resonates with it? I mean, come on, like one of the biggest YouTubers that's out right now started at 12 years old reviewing computers. And now he's reviewing electric cars and meeting with Elon Gates and all these people. Like, he is the top of the top based off of him starting at 12 years old saying what his computer was. So there's growth to it. And if you say he started at 12, I mean, he's got to be in his 30s now. I'm not saying tomorrow anybody's going to be famous, but if you give yourself 10 years at doing something and you have some type of a job to be good at it, it could work for you.
Absolutely.
I think you bring up a good point, is just being real. People appreciate that. We've gotten so used to the slick production stuff, and I don't think that's what people are looking for. They're looking to connect with real people. I mean, there's some people that follow these TikTok influencers that are, have these totally fake lives.
Right.
But I think for the most part, real people, doing real things is what resonates with most people.
Mm.
It's and so I think that's a very good point. Is just go out and do it. You don't have to spend 5 hours editing your 30-minute video or 5 minute video.
Right.
It's just put it up there and roll with it. I do a whole lot less editing. I only do editing when I absolutely have to
That's
these
true.
days because I'm just rolling with
Hmm.
what it is, and if I stumble on some things or kind of mess up here and there, it's just
It's
human.
real. Right.
It's real. Yeah.
That's just true.
Look.
There are some large brands that are now using the TikTok form of editing to
Hmm.
do commercials. So it starts out as a commercial. Hey guys, I was really hungry one day. And guess what? I went into Pizza Hut and I got the pizza. And they have it on sale right now, 2 for 1, a pepperoni, it goes from an organic type looking video to a real
Hmm.
commercial, or they put themselves in the corner, just like it's a remix video with a real commercial going in the background. Like, I just think that's the way it's going to go. And we're going to see more and more of that. Now, that's more of the TikTok platform, but you're going to see commercials like that on Facebook and on YouTube because it's still engaging to the audience because they think they're seeing a real life reel.
Hmm.
Understand that.
Mhm.
Oh, I got more questions here, and we only got through one of the questions that chat gave us.
Come on, come on.
Half an hour
Okay.
later.
Yeah, we have to make it a little faster. Okay, I'll shorten up my comments.
No worries. In what ways has live streaming provided you with a platform to connect you with other fathers and share values on parenting insights or the work you do? Let's start off with Jason because Jason's kind of quiet.
You know what? I have to say that live streaming for me, it has connected me with some amazing fathers, all over the world. One of which, Dr. Vibe, I met him years ago, and it was because of live streaming. He had popped into some periscopes that I was doing. We used to call them scopes back in the day. And he saw me interact with my boys. And then I met him through another friend, Rodney Kellum. And so, they're real big into fatherhood and fathers stepping up to the plate. And so we would get on to Dr. Vibe's radio show and just talk about, the ups, the pluses, the minuses, the ups and the downs of fatherhood and the responsibility of dads and what it is that we are doing as fathers to really secure our child's best interests. Like how do we support them and let them know that it's okay for you to show your emotions as a man, as a growing man, and also what it is to be responsible. So, I mean, so that for me has been just pretty awesome because I started seeing that I wasn't alone, in this trek of fatherhood, wasn't alone in the trek as a single dad either. So it's really helped me surround myself with some really good quality people. And then also, I've gotten some great tips as a dad because this is something that you really shouldn't do alone. you should you should really be tapped into other fathers because we all have different techniques, different approaches, and when we can gain more perspective, it helps our children.
Yeah,
So I reach out to dads a lot, and I've got a good collection of my go-to dads. So I'm like, okay, your children are a few years older than mine. Okay, we're running into this. What did you do when you ran into this? And they're like, oh, okay, so you're at this stage right now, and they give me a good rollout on their approaches. They're like, now this may or may not work for you. I don't know your children like that, but here was my technique, and I always find something valuable to glean.
You
that's
have a
awesome.
dad panel.
Got a dad panel.
Yeah.
All right. So, DJ Strick or Thomas, which one of you guys want to take that? In what ways have live streaming provided you with a platform to connect with fathers to share your values on parenting insights and or your business? Who's
Well,
next?
really quick. So when it comes to live streaming for me and connecting with guys, I did a show with a guy by the name of Brent Collins, and um, we had a chance to meet basically online first, like maybe a year or so online, and then we had a chance to meet in person.
Oh wow.
In our meeting in person, he brought his son with him, and we were able to engage while
Hmm.
his son watched all of what we were doing as content creators. And I thought that was the coolest thing. So I have another friend by the name of Alicia Way who has younger children, and watching
Yes.
him handle his life as a content creator and a business owner, and then having to do that with his kids. And, sometimes he just can't stream because his kids are around. So, the responsibility that he takes serious, um,
Hmm.
of his kids. Kirk Nugent is another content creator I think he has teenagers, and watching him lead his family is really, really
Hmm.
cool. Another friend of mine, Rob Balasabas, Rob works with a company that kind of helps all of us do what we do in streaming,
Hmm.
and he is always posting about his family and his kids. And I had an opportunity to just at one of the conferences just kind of hang out with him, and really, really great guy. And
Hmm.
being able to see these people online and also having personal relationships with them, I think is really cool. And that kind of helps us all if we ever really, kind of need some help. I'm
Hmm.
really big on, social media, showing my family off as well. And all those things are encouraging to other people, because people watch, they're looking, and they want to know. And
Yeah.
when you share, and sometimes it's not always the glamorous thing, but we're just hanging out.
Hmm.
We're going bowling. Like when I go bowling and I beat everybody, guess what? I'm posting about it.
Yeah. One of
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
favorite things that you've posted is that Kim Scott had won I think was it a Grammy? She had just won?
She Billboard number one
Uh,
for the year
Yes.
of 2022. Number
Like
one
I
song of
felt
the
so
year.
happy for her, just
Yeah,
knowing that I know somebody that works with her, you, and
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
that was
yeah.
amazing.
Thank
So
you.
shout out to her.
Yeah, she's an amazing artist, and yeah, it's one of the things I get a chance to do and follow her around and carry her bags and all of that stuff.
Nice.
Cool.
She is amazing.
Thank you.
Um, Thomas, you
I got. Oh, go ahead.
well, I want to say that you had told me earlier that one of your kids went to public school and you homeschooled the other, and now you live stream so you can be on the school board and you're helping a whole bunch of other kids, like a whole school district of kids. So you must have met a whole bunch of dads.
Yeah, and yeah, I have a little bit different angle on that because my kids are older. My youngest is 33, just turned 33. So, but I'm trying to leverage my position with the school board to kind of promote um, positive male role models out there. I think in our
That's awesome.
society these days, and I can wax poetic on this for a while, so I'll try not to. But we dads kind of get treated.
Hmm.
I mean, if you take the example of Al Bundy and Married with Children. That's
Right.
kind of how like TV treats dads these days.
Oh, you take it
And
way back.
Yeah, he
yeah,
did.
well, it but it's looking at
It's
dads as
true.
this bumbling fool and
Right.
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
kids. I think a lot of our problems in society these days is a lack of a positive male role model.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do some stuff through the school board. Unfortunately, um, after the Nashville incident out here, they've kind of locked down the schools, and we can't get. We were trying to put, dads in the schools to be positive male role models. We're kind of having to take that out of the schools because they don't want any security risks, believe it or not.
Mm.
But
Wow.
promoting dads out there, not only, to your own kids, but to other kids being a positive male role model, I think is so important. Kids need both parents.
Right.
Mm.
We have a lot of, not to denigrate the moms out there, but kids get a lot of, female influence in their lives. They need that male influence. And that's one of the things we're trying to promote. And I'm trying to leverage my position on the school board to
Mhm.
do more of that and really get that positive male role model going out there for the kids. And they need that.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, a little bit different angle from my perspective, but I think it's important and something that I'm working on.
That's
I
awesome, man. I
understand.
commend you for that.
Yeah. I know you've been working with the school board for a while. It's almost been a year now, hasn't it, Thomas? Has it been a
Yeah.
year into it?
Well, yeah, like 9 months. It
Wow.
just seems like a year.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
All right. Well, let me shout out One Stream Live because they're hosting us today. And if you want to live stream with One Stream Live, you can join the Streamers Partner Program. All you need to do is email your profile. That would be your Facebook, your YouTube, your Instagram to content at onestream.live, and you can join the partner program. So, just want to throw that out there. So, Jason, since you're front and center now, you have the honor of answering this next question. How do you handle potential privacy concerns and boundaries when sharing your family life on a public platform?
Well, I don't share what I don't want to share. That's the first thing.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't feel obligated to do anything on social that I don't want to do. So, and I think that's probably where um, a lot of people that I've heard, like when I talk to clients and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to get on and do this, that, and the other." I'm like, "Well, you don't have to then. Like,
Right.
there's nobody holding a gun to your head that you've got to do this. It's not going to make a difference. You have to really make it your own." So for me, social media has always been my own. I remember I got it twisted initially when I first started on Periscope, and the gurus were saying, you've got to get on there 10 minutes and then off. And I was like, I tried that for about a week or two, and I was like, this is just not me. I said, I'm long winded. I
Gotcha.
talk. So, and I cook. So I would get on there and I would start my live streams and I would start cooking. I'd start doing my mise en place, getting everything together. And I'd say, okay, look, I'm doing mise. Come on in, ask me your business questions. And as I'm getting things set up for dinner, I'll answer your questions. And then that developed the crowd and the following that I had. And my children would be doing what they were doing in the background. Sometimes they'd pop on camera, hey, dad, can you do this for me and all that? And I'd stop and I'd do things for them. Sometimes they'd want to get in and get on camera themselves. So I never felt that it was a risk because, I'm around. I think that it is a risk when your children are off doing stuff and you don't know what's going on, and then they're exposing themselves in ways that you like they may not have that protocol already in place, to where they don't have things on where strangers can know where they're located, all sorts of things like that. So there's certain things that we put in place to make sure that they weren't exposed like that. But yeah, I think that you got to make it your own, and you have to know what you're comfortable with, and then don't go beyond that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
I've seen my youngest, he's 8, see some crazy things on YouTube or like some apps in games, and I was like, "What was that?" And I'm like, "Let me find it, delete," and I
Right.
have to throw
Right.
it away.
Right.
So
Yeah. You got to do, I think you have to do your preliminaries because, okay, like for example, I don't know if you all saw that news report, and it was talking about some of the apps like Roblox, and some of the things, how a lot of predatory activity was happening on those apps. Okay, so those kind of apps, from the beginning, I used to see a lot of the children in the schools where I was running my programs on Roblox, and I'm like, that seems a little potentially hazardous, mainly because so many were using it. And I always look at it like this: if I see too many people flocking to something, that's when the red flags go up for me. because that means that there's going to be a lot of folks who aren't paying attention to some fundamentals. There was one app that they had out where inside of the terms of service, you were basically signing away the rights to your image, your, what they can do with it in perpetuity, and you could do nothing about it. So they can take repurpose, reappropriate your stuff, and then next thing they're making money or exploiting it in different ways that you have no say so over. So just being very basic on, did you read the terms of service before you signed on to this app or downloaded it and started using it? So, there's certain things that, I like to go over. We don't always catch it. Sometimes, the boys will jump onto something and then I have to say, hey, did you look at this? Check this out. And so that it's a teaching, time.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Thomas, DJ Strick, let me ask you the same question, but first let me let people be aware of this. So, if you are into affiliate marketing, and if you don't know, Black Friday's coming up in November, but you can do something about affiliate marketing right now. You can earn 55% commission for every purchase someone makes under your affiliate link. And all you need to do is join the OneStream Live affiliate marketing program. Just throwing that out there. So,
It's really
DJ Strick,
cool. Yes, ma'am. So, could you ask me the question again?
yes. How do you handle potential privacy concerns and boundaries when sharing your family life on a public platform?
That's a really good question, and mine is a little bit more unique than most. By me being a DJ for so long, guess what? I'm DJ Strick. So unlike a lot of people, if you search DJ Strick, you'll find me. If you search my real name, you may have to do a little digging. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
So, I tell people all the time, I can't share my real name because I got warrants. I don't have warrants. I don't have warrants. But I just have, for me, there's a line that I get a chance in my mind to draw between the character of DJ Strick and then who I really am.
Mhm.
Okay. So even with my wife, we had an issue early on in our marriage because she had started doing the music thing and, she was Kim Scott.
Mhm.
Well, I had to think about it logically. Of course, I wanted her to have my last name, which she does, but she has a stage name.
Mhm.
Guess who else has a stage name? Me. I have a stage name. So, we have opportunities to kind of separate our personal lives from the social media, the stuff we put out. But it also helps me understand what I need to promote because it's all
Right.
promotions of these characters. DJ Strick, Kim Scott, and all of our stuff. Now, we still have children, but we get a chance, just like Jason said, to promote what we want to. There's certain things that you just can and can't do. You can't in a business because it is a business. You don't want to post or promote or put anything out there when you're angry. Okay, we
Right.
are married. There are times that, you know what, I'm not liking you right now. That's not something that I need to be posting about.
Right.
Some people will say, well, you only post the good things. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, that's what
Yep.
people want. Now, we're not the controversial reality show where you're going to show us, going back and forth on something. Like,
Mhm.
that's not what we do. That's not the kind of audience that we have, nor the audience that we want.
Right.
So I control the narrative, and I am such a control freak in life. I just the way I am. But I say that because I know that as I've grown as a man, there's certain things that I can't control.
Mhm.
I certain things but I can control me and how I respond to those things in life. And that's the same thing with social media. I can control what I post. I can control how I post it, when I post it, what it looks like, all of that stuff. And if you're smart about it, you don't have to be controversial. Like I've seen some, you know, I would say just normal people online that have posted some really derogatory things about themselves. I'm like, why would you posted that? Not only did you post it, but why was a camera recording something like that that you were aware of?
Yeah.
See, I don't have any of that. So,
I'm more mindful of it. So if someone goes viral for something that's derogatory towards them, they would have to have been there and it was shared on their page. Like that's something that they wanted. And I don't need to have that type energy
Right.
or need to post in that way to get people to look at me.
Hmm.
I think that, you know, everything can be wholesome. Like you could be a wholesome person and people still
Amen.
identify with you.
Amen.
Your heart
Right.
could be in the right place and people still identify with you. And that is a great model for my boys. So they
Hmm.
won't see dad out there with his shirt off and, and having a great time or post with a whole bunch of all the girls and everything. They won't see that,
Hmm.
So I'm hoping that I can kind of help them model it. And at the same time, other people that are watching, they can say, hey, I would like to have this type of model in my social media postings or my live. I want to do it this way because I see DJ Strick be successful in this way. And he can also hide who he really is and not in a hiding way, but from a security standpoint, not
Hmm.
be exposed
Right.
because there is a real danger out there sometimes. And I just thank God for his grace because I haven't been attacked in any kind of way based off of what I'm doing online.
I really like the idea about having different names, a persona or a character, as you say. That's a really good idea, and not was it showing out on your own page while knowing the camera is
Oh man,
live.
what are you recording this for? What is that going to be used? I don't understand it. I've seen some real like from a standpoint of this could really destroy someone, and they put it
Hmm.
on their own page, like and then it really did destroy them. But that's what they
Wow,
wanted to do,
it's
Wow.
like confessing to a crime while high.
right?
Well, just so long as nobody finds out that Erica's real name is Susan Johnson, we're
Right,
good.
right, right, right,
Oh man, you just called me out.
right.
Sorry about that, Susan.
Uh, we got to ask Thomas. Thomas,
Tom Dip, he's
yeah.
like, that's who it was. Susan. No, I'm out of here.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
She's been stalking me
Okay,
for years.
Thomas, how do you handle privacy concerns and boundaries when sharing your family life on a public platform?
I tend to steer clear of sharing a lot of personal stuff. I mean, you get into the weeds, like DJ Strix just said, is that, if we get out into a lot of personal and political opinions, we have a lot of division going on in this country
That's
right
true.
now. And we've seen a lot of companies do a lot of missteps, and it's
Mhm.
just stupid stuff, that
Right,
is completely avoidable. And you go out and you say these as a company,
Mhm.
right,
and you're going to have your own personal political beliefs, and I'm all fine with that. But if as a company, if as a business, you go out and you potentially offend half your customers,
right,
that's really a stupid business move.
right.
It really,
Or
why
your
would you
customer
do that?
base. If you offend your customer base, it's
Yeah.
not a good idea.
Why would you do that? And it seems like a lot of these companies are just like committing, business suicide by
That's true.
doing this. And I don't know, but there's, so I try to steer clear of that, and I have my places where I kind of, get into the politics and stuff, but on my business stuff, I totally steer clear of that stuff, keep it neutral because why offend people? I got people on the liberal side, I got people on the conservative side, and then the vast majority are somewhere in between. And I mean, I do business with all those people. Why would
Right,
you
Mhm.
right.
take a segment and offend them? So I try to keep it, useful and keep a lot of the really private or controversial or people don't need to know all my unless it's relevant to your business, and sometimes it is. You can leverage that, but for the most part, my private family life, probably not stuff you want to put online. My wife is not an online person. So
Right.
so it's kind of like I wouldn't share any details. That would just make get her upset, and so it's like keep there's a lot of interesting stuff out there you can discuss without getting into a lot of controversy, and it's hard sometimes when you get passionate about stuff, but keep it on track is
That's true.
really what I say, and your business is going to benefit.
Mhm.
It's
I
very
believe
smart,
that.
sir. Very smart.
Mhm. Yeah, and
Okay,
when
you
you think about
guys.
it, it's kind of like I'll say this real quick, Eric, and then I'll jump off. I mean that you get back to it. Uh, it is when you don't have a relationship with all these folks that you are, talking to. I hold up the air quote sign when I say that. It's like creating a vehicle to have no impact. If I'm going to offend you with what I say in a broad spectrum, I don't even have time to unpack it. So there's no way to put it into context. So there's very little chance of being able to be clear or concise or to clean something up if there's a misstep. So it's best to kind of understand what you're dealing with and not tread on certain ground in order to create an issue that you cannot back yourself out of. Because you may even find that it's like what they are thinking that you mean is not what you meant. But you can't say, I didn't mean that. Oh, sure you did.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's better to really understand that there's always going to be somebody who can take something the wrong way. So don't do yourself a favor and don't, voluntarily give them something to mess you up on.
And if to kind of round out being a content creator that's a dad, like
Hmm.
my heart and what I do is to help other people in the content creation journey and sharing platforms that you could use to be more efficient and effective in your journey as a content creator. But
Hmm.
at the heart of it is just the love for people and wanting to help someone else. Like spending the time to go online to say, hey, have you thought about this tool? Or
Right.
this is how this tool could help you do some content creation. And
Exactly.
hopefully the heart of that is being seen and it's more love than it is anything else. Love for people, from
Mhm.
my standpoint. Now, if I talk about politics, it's so polarizing, just like Thomas has said in America right now, that's not love to
Mhm.
talk about politics because somebody would love you and somebody would hate you. Like, I just want to help people. And
Mhm.
helping people from a love standpoint is if you can just show folks that we could do this together,
Mhm.
that this is where I am. Let me pull you up. Or if you're there, let me learn from you. And it's one of the reasons why I'm on the show today, because I have a relationship with Ericka Bates that when Erica calls, guess what? I want to make myself available. And that's the community that we have that we
Yes.
can show other people that you can have a community online based off of love and respect for each other to where
Mhm.
you're willing to help and spend your time and energy supporting what they do because Erica's always supporting me. So hopefully, sons, daughters, as father and leaders, we could show that through our community of willingness to help. It's not always leading, and sometimes your leading could just be a great follower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well said.
I want
I gotta say, I am going to get better at building my content calendar out in advance. And I won't ask you guys to drop everything you're doing at the last minute. I really do appreciate that.
cool.
But
Hey, listen,
I
call
should
me
be
if I'm
respectful.
available. I'm coming, Erica. I promise you that.
Right.
I really do appreciate that from all of you guys. I really do. Um, Jason, you're at the top of my screen. Would you please tell everyone your favorite social media hangout spot so people can find you and network with
Hmm.
you?
You know what? It has grown on me. I did not think this would happen, but LinkedIn, I have been loving that platform for a little bit now. Um, it's Erica's fault because she only talks to me
I
through
love
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
So if I don't go to LinkedIn, I don't get any messages from Ericka. She's like a separatist like that, right?
That's
So,
funny.
but yeah, no, LinkedIn. I'm really enjoying LinkedIn. I'm doing a lot more on there, and it is hitting the community that I need to hit right now. I do a lot of work with nonprofits and businesses that need to share their voices and need to know how to do it authentically. And so I find that that is the area where those questions are coming up, and I'm able to help people in that quest to produce better content from an authentic place. So yeah, so LinkedIn, you can check me out there, linkedin.com/n/the Jason Hodge.
Just go to the search bar and type in the Jason Hodge, and he will show up.
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah. And then
Real quick,
also
Jason,
masteryourmedia.live.
that too.
Yes.
Jason, real quick, what's your favorite thing about LinkedIn?
My favorite thing about LinkedIn is that the businesses that are there, I find that businesses all have personalities. And when you can help them flesh those personalities out and articulate why they opened their business in the first place, you get a story that is absolutely phenomenal. You find that people ultimately want to help people in their marketplace. It's not always just about we wanted to make a boatload of cash. That is the other side of doing really good business. But it's because they saw a need in the marketplace that they could fill, and they opened up a business to do that. And sometimes, more often than not, they need help with an aspect of that. My help comes in with helping them tell their stories better. So I think that it is a great way to network and to meet folks and to establish some good professional relationships that could also, end up, what do you call it, graduating into personal relationships as well.
Nice. I like that. I've loved LinkedIn for so long, but I'm not sure if I saw it the way you have. So
Yeah, it's a great app.
I learned something. Okay, DJ Strick, you're next. Tell me your
So
favorite social platform.
my favorite social platform. This is a hard question. I was thinking while Jason was talking as well. Of course, to communicate with me, it's probably best on Facebook or Instagram. I probably like Instagram more than Facebook right now, only because it's really, really short bursts. And I've curated a list of people there that I am somewhat interested in their stories as well. Um, but I think my bio link is probably my favorite right now, strict.bio.link. So that's a way that people can get to me fastest with all of my stuff all in one place. And I'm
Mhm.
sorry that that sounds like an ad, but you have to teach people that these social media platforms are owned by those other folks. And I like to kind of own a lot of my
There you go.
connection. So strict.bio.link is probably the best way to communicate and see all the stuff that I'm doing.
Okay.
I
But I
cheated a
didn't know
little
that
bit,
either.
but
So
there you
now
go.
I know a new place to find you. So,
Yeah, so that's just a good way to see everything that I have going on all at one place.
Love it.
okay. Thomas, you're next. What's your favorite social media platform? Where can we find you?
I'm another LinkedIn guy, and then YouTube. I don't know if you call YouTube social media, but I do my show on there, and I answer all the comments that come in and get some dialogue going with folks that way. But LinkedIn, I've been on LinkedIn for a long time, a long, long time, and it's really, really in a niche business, and so water. And so I can reach out and connect with a lot of folks and companies and water utilities that way, and it works for me. And so I live stream on YouTube and LinkedIn both, and some other places that don't really get as much traction. But I find the LinkedIn work, is great for connecting with people that are in my specific niche, and it really works well that way. And so I'm I, Facebook and some of those other ones just don't work for my particular business model. So LinkedIn does. So I'm a LinkedIn guy all the way.
That's cool.
All right. So, to wrap it up, you guys have any final words? Thomas, do you have any final words since you're like front and center here?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Thomas Ballard or the Groundwater Guy, and the Groundwater Guy on YouTube, my Groundwater Guy YouTube channel. If you're interested in water, it gets a little technical, but that's me. But I appreciate you hosting this, and it's been an interesting conversation. I like both these guys here,
Thank you,
Jason
sir.
and DJ. You guys are great. I watch all your stuff and Jason, I love talking with you. You got the radio voice. You guys both have the radio voice. I wish I had a voice like you guys.
You do. You do.
You do have a radio voice, Tom. You
but
really do. Yeah.
but no, I appreciate you hosting this, Ericka, and it's fun to just get on and chat about this stuff.
All right. I appreciate you guys being here. So, DJ Strict or Jason, you guys have any parting words?
Well, I want to thank you for the invite first, and I didn't know Thomas, so I know Jason, of course, and some of the stuff that he's creating is really cool. But I like meeting new people. I think this forum that we have through content creators and OneStream and all of that, you get a chance to meet some cool people. And I think the whole water conservation, did I say that right? Is water
Just water,
Clean water.
a water
clean
utility.
water utility. I think this is a cool thing. Right now, we have an issue with that in America. So, diving into some of the content you're making, man, is going to be cool for me. So, again, thank you, Ericka, because you always kind of bring new people to the table that we can learn from. And again, I appreciate the invitation.
Thank you. So, Jason, you have any
Yeah.
parting words?
And I have to say, on a side note, yeah, Tom's water program is absolutely phenomenal. I learned so much about my water bill and what to look for when I was
Okay.
watching his show. I was like, I didn't even think about this stuff. It was
Okay.
absolute, yeah. I'm a total geek though, so that information I just
We
love.
all are. We all
Yeah,
are.
exactly. So my parting words are this, and of course, shameless plug for Mastering Your Media. It's masteringyourmedia.live. We are a radio broadcast, and we interview the who's who in their space, and we talk about their trek to success. Matter of fact, DJ Strick, we got to have you on, bro.
Would love to be
And
there.
Tom, you already know, your invite, definitely. Erica was on; it was great. So our whole premise is to create a space where dialogue opens up and people tell their stories so that those who are listening can hear their story in the stories that we share. So they can know that, hey, you know what? This person didn't have like a greased slide to the success finish line. They had some things that they had to grow through and go through, and if they can do it, I could probably do it too. So that's the whole thing. The premise behind it is to give them the hope, the resources, the tools, the techniques, and strategies to get to their success. So that's masteringyourmedia.live. Ericka, thank you. As always, I love being in the spaces that you curate. You always bring
It's true.
great people together. And, both of these guys are awesome. I've been following them. Tom, we see each other every week. DJ Strick, I've seen him on a few different things. Know him from Vlogmas.
Yeah,
When I
yeah.
first
Let's
met
get
him.
live. Let's get
Yeah,
live.
yeah. So, so thank you for the invite. I'm very grateful to be here. Very honored.
I really do appreciate all of you guys being here. Thank you so much for sharing your time, energy, and knowledge. Not only just with your shows, not only with me, just when I see you on other people's shows, I still learn things from you guys. So it's nice to know brilliant people.
That's true.
I feel honored that I know brilliant people because the saying, we're the average of the 5 people we're around the most. And I like to tell people that I know brilliant people. I
There
seriously
you
tell
go.
people that I know you guys. So I want to say thank you guys for coming out again. again, I'm going to work on my content calendar and get a schedule out where I can ask you guys in a reasonable amount of time to come on my show, because it's probably rude. It most likely is rude to ask you guys, hey, you
It
doing
is
anything?
okay.
Come on the
It
show.
is okay,
You're
Erica.
good.
It
You're
really
good.
is. Anything for
So,
you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys again. I appreciate you being here. And see you around the internet.
have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you next time.